Are you wanting to go from this hunched, uncomfortable, forward posture at your desk to this more upright, very comfortable, pain-free posture at your desk? I'm sure you are because you clicked on this video called Improving Posture at Your Desk. My name is John Clark with the Posture Pain Connection. I'm an Nagoski certified postural alignment specialist. Fixing posture is my expertise. So I said you might be in the right place actually, because if you haven't watched part 1 of this series about improving posture at your desk, you need to go back. That's this fast forward routine that's on the screen right now. Do that one for at least one time a day for 2 weeks before you get to this more advanced postural exercise routine that we're doing in part 2 here. Now, part 1 was 7 simple exercises that you can do in 8 minutes a day. So be sure to go do that for 2 weeks if you haven't done it yet. Part 2, of course, we've got to bump up the difficulty a little bit to keep on progressing, right? So part 2 is 8 simple exercises, and they take about 12 minutes to do. Now, 5 minutes of those are just the very last exercise. The first go by pretty quickly. The first 7 go by pretty quickly. And of course, just like in part 1, we're going to be tailoring it to your sitting style, to a certain degree at least. So I'll cover that, or exactly how we do that, when we get to those steps in the routine. Let's get to the full walkthrough right now. So the first exercise is called standing overhead extension. If you did what I said and have done the part 1 routines, you'll recognize that this is a modification of the sitting overhead extension that we did in that routine. We're bumping up the difficulty by doing it in the standing position. So when we're doing it in the standing position, I want your ankles hip width apart and your feet slightly pigeon-toed, which means your big toes are going to angle in slightly. Now we're going to interlace our fingers. Set a timer for 30 seconds and go ahead and move our arms up while always moving our neck at the same time. If your neck stops or your arm stops, I want you to stop the whole movement right there, and you'll be able to get more flexibility over time if you're consistent about doing this. Now you should feel a nice arch in the lower back while doing this. It looks like I'm against the wall, but I'm not. I'm just trying to get my whole body in frame here. And we're going to hold this for 30 seconds, which is right there. Now this is very important. When you finish, come out slowly in the reverse order. I don't want to see you just letting go up here. That might even cause some pain or restrictions. Just come down very slowly, just like that. Now, the second exercise is called hanging. We're going to be holding this one for 30 seconds as well. Just like before, I want you to have your feet hip width apart and slightly pigeon toes, so your big toes angle in slightly. I'm going to set a timer for 30 seconds, but watch very closely what's going on in my hips.
30 seconds.
Oh, there it goes. Siri heard it. Now, watch, I'm bending down carefully, trying to keep my hips directly over my ankles. That means the weight is on the ball of my feet quite a bit. I don't want to see your butt sticking out like this. You know, if this is all you can go while letting gravity take your head and whatnot, and keeping your hips above your ankles, that's fine. I hope I'm doing as well as I feel like I'm doing by keeping my hips very close to being directly centered over my ankles. And just like before, when we're done, we'll come out of it very slowly and methodically back to an upright position. So that one is hanging. The third exercise is called 3-position toe raises. Now this one, we're going to face the wall. I've got my fingers lightly against the wall for stability. Look at my feet. They're fully duck-footed at 45 degrees, pointing out away from one another. From here, I'm just going to slowly go up and down on the balls of my feet 10 times in this position. Now this is called 3-position toe raises because we're going to do them in 3 positions. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm already shaky because I just did that fast forward of the exercises here, and I'm feeling it. Now look at this second position. The feet are going to be like we did in the first 2 exercises. Ankles hip width apart, slightly pigeon toes, so the big toes just angle in a little bit. I'm going to do 10 more here. Now, but look what I'm not doing. I'm not popping up fast. I'm not dropping down fast. It's a slow, methodical go up and down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Finally, I'm going to go to a fully pigeon toe position. Look, both my big toes are touching. My ankles are now slightly more than hip width apart because they're flared out. That's good. Now we're going to do 10 more in the third position of 3 position toe raises. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so that's the third exercise. That's 3 position toe raises. I'm going to do the 4th exercise here, and then I'm going to take a little break and explain what we've accomplished with these first 4 exercises. Now, just like before, ankles hip width apart, slightly pigeon toed so that the big toes ain't slightly in. Now we got 2 different hand positions for this exercise. Fingers spread wide, fists balled tight. First, we're going to spread those fingers wide. Tuck those shoulder blades down. I don't want to see those shoulder blades up, their shoulders up near your ears. No, no, no. Tuck those shoulder blades. We're going to do forward circles here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to ball those fists. We're doing forward circles again. Keep those shoulder blades tucked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to spread those fingers again, but look, this time we're turning the palm up towards the ceiling. We're doing backward circles. Keep those shoulder blades tucked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we are going to ball those fists tightly. Palms still up towards the ceiling. Tuck those shoulder blades, backward circles one last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so those first 4 exercises. Standing overhead extension, hanging, 3 position toe raises, arm circles. What were we accomplishing? Well, with standing overhead extension, we were getting a nice big stretch along the front side of the body and strengthening the back side of the body and increasing range of motion in the shoulders. With hanging, the second exercise, we were doing the exact opposite, right? We were crunching up the front side of the body, getting a nice stretch along the whole back side of the body. This works on what is called dynamic tension. Between those 2 exercises, we've helped our body realize better how to stay upright and keep tension equal on the front and back sides of the body. With 3 position toe raises, we were eliminating rotational compensations in the lower body while keeping all of our load-bearing joints in alignment. Great thing to do after working on that dynamic tension. Then, when we go to standing arm circles, we're getting back on that dynamic tension again while we're retraining the proper ball and socket motion in the shoulder. So we are working on a lot of stuff with just those first 4 exercises. Now let's look at the last 4 exercises here. Now this is where we get into tailoring this routine to your sitting posture. If you tend to sit with your knees falling out like this, we're going to be doing it one way. If you sit with your knees falling in like this together, we're going to be doing it a different way. Now, I'm going to talk about if your knees fall in first. If your knees fall in, I want you to have that strap around your knees here, and I want the block between your ankles. You're going to press out against the strap with your knees fist width apart. That's about hip width, and you're going to press in on that block. So it's an opposing motion that opposes what happens when your knees are falling in towards like this, right? We're pushing out here, pushing in here. We would do 3 sets of 10 and then hold it for 1 minute. Now, my legs like to fall out. So I'm going to do the opposite of that. I'm going to cinch this strap around my ankles so that my ankles are about hip width apart. And I'm going to put this block between my knees. Now, both of these exercises, I want you sitting with this nice upright posture, ears over shoulders, over hips to the best of your ability. You can just let your arms rest on your thighs or down at the sides or on your armrest, whatever's comfortable for you. And you would push, in this case, if your knees fall out like mine, you're going to push in against the block and out against the strap. With either of these exercises, I want you trying to keep even pressure on the ground with your feet, meaning I don't want all the weight on your edge of the foot or all the weight on the all the way on the outside or on the inside edges, regardless of which way, balance pressure in the feet. Now, we're just going to do 3 sets of 10 of squeezing this block and pressing the strap, or vice versa, depending on what you need to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, you can go ahead and skip ahead. I don't want to take too much time in the video. You just do 2 more sets like that. Then you're going to hold it for 30 seconds, maybe up to a minute, depending on how much time you want to invest. Now, that's the 5th exercise. For the 6th exercise, we're going to keep these in the same place, but we're going to add an upper body exercise component too. Let me move the camera so you can see my body better. Okay, now as you can see, I've still got the strap and the block in place. What I'm going to do here are called elbow curls. I'm going to do what's called a golfer's grip. To do this, bend your fingers, then pull the first knuckle back so you've got tightness along the back of the hand here, and your thumbs out at 90 degrees. Place your thumbs on your head between your temple or just above your ear and your temple, and I want you to feel this knuckle roll against the head. Look what's not happening. I'm not just bending, I'm not balling up my fist. I'm keeping that tight. See the difference? Now we're going to do 2 sets of 10 right here. Just trying to bring your shoulders together while statically, or bring your elbows together while statically pressing that block and that strap in whatever configuration is right for you. So we would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go ahead and do 1 more set of 10 in that configuration. Next, we're going to get to the 7th exercise, heel raises with a block, right after I take a sip of water because I'm doing all this talking. Okay, heel raises with block. If you've been doing the first routine, you're going to be familiar with this exercise. So with this one, I'm going to take this block, put it between my knees, and squeeze it with about 50% of my strength, medium strength. I'm going to lift up from the hips. Now, this is very important. First, actually, let's talk about the upper body. I'm in a nice upright posture here. I'm not slouched over. I'm upright to the best of my ability. Now, I'm going to lift up from the hips, right? Now, this is very crucial. I don't want you pushing up off the ground with the balls of your feet. That's not what we want at all. Imagine a piece of paper underneath the ball of your foot. I could come up at any point and slip it out with 0 effort. That is what we want. So we're lifting from the hips. We're going to do 3 sets of 10 here. I'll do one with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And of course, throughout the whole time, the balls of my feet are just barely resting on the ground. It's just they're just touching. I'm not pushing down. That's super critical for that exercise. Now the last exercise, you're also going to need this block. This is called standing wall with block. And this is the one where you're going to hold it for 5 minutes. So it should take about 7 minutes to get up to this point in the exercise, and about up to 5 minutes doing this exercise. Now you may not make 5 minutes at first. I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me do this for 5 minutes on this video. I'm going to show you the proper form though. Just like in those first exercises, we want those feet slightly pigeon-toed and hip-width apart. And I want you to get the heels as close to the wall as you possibly can. If you got a big butt like me, I have to keep them an inch away or so. But we're going to keep them slightly pigeon-toed, get our hips against the wall, get our shoulders against the wall, and if possible, get your head against the wall. Now, if you can't comfortably do it, let it sit in a natural position. I don't want you looking up towards the ceiling just to try to get your head back. If you can't get it against the wall yet, if you're consistent with your exercises, eventually it'll come here. Now you're just going to hold this for 5 minutes, but here's a crucial point. Keep equal pressure between the outside edges and the inside edges of your feet. You might think this is a silly exercise, but I guarantee you, you're going to start feeling it within a couple minutes, just how difficult this truly is. So you're going to hold that for up to 5 minutes, or work up to 5 minutes if you can't make it there. Now that is the full walkthrough. Again, guys, this is part 2. If you haven't been doing part 1 regularly, you're not ready for this yet. Like I said, save this video. Go back to part 1 from those cards or the description down below. The link's right there. And check out part 1. Do that for 2 weeks before you get here. I promise you'll get so much more out of these routines if you start at the beginning and work your way through. Now, week 3, or the part 3 for this, is coming out on May 15th, 2 weeks from the date of the release of this video. And that's because I want you doing this one for 2 weeks, at least once a day, maybe even up to 2 times a day. You can do, one break from your work in the morning, do this exercise. When you take a break in the afternoon, do this exercise as well. Again, it's only 12 minutes. You can do that, right? And you're gonna feel so much better for it if you're consistent about it. Part 3 is gonna get a little bit more difficult. We're going to add on 1, maybe 2 more exercises, but I know you can do it if you stick to the program. My name is John Clark with the Posture Pain Connection. I hope you have a functional and pain-free day, but if you don't, be sure to contact me.